Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I can't keep up anymore. Simply put, it is very difficult to keep up with what's happening at Celtic anymore. You don't know what to believe. Honestly, reports here and there and everywhere. You don't know what's true, you don't know what's not true. But the manager today has given us a little bit of an update from his own mouth, his own words, in regards to the transfer situation at Celtic right now. And one that for a lot of us might be rather hopeful and what we want to hear. So let's talk about that. Okay, welcome back. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. It would be much appreciated. Yes, okay. Ange Postecoglou was speaking to the media today ahead of our game tomorrow against St Mirren. Of course, the midweek fixture. It's going to be freezing at Celtic Park. Can't wait. Absolutely buzzing. Freezing the nips off me. Cannot wait. No, but we play tomorrow night, of course. But today, Ange Postecoglou was faced with questions from the media, and a lot of them to do with, of course, the speculation surrounding some Celtic players at the minute. We know that Georgios Giakoumakis, Josip Juranovic, for example, they have been linked with moves away from the club. We have been linked with umpteen players who could come into the club. But obviously, nothing's really happened since the opening of the window to this point now. None of those players have left. They don't really look much closer to a move. And all we're getting is the odd bit of speculation and rumour thrown at us from various journalists around the world. So the manager himself has decided to give us an update, a bit of peace of mind maybe, for some of us who have just been waiting to see what happens, and one that kind of throws a curveball to absolutely everything that's been reported so far. Now, may I just want to clarify, for the millionth time that I have done this on YouTube, I'm not the one that reports what's happening. I come on here to give my opinion to what's happening. That's the whole point in this channel. I'm not in the know. I don't claim to be in the know, and I never will claim to be in the know unless somehow I am, which is probably going to be never. But Ange Postecoglou has maybe rubbished some of the in-the-know people that we know just now, unless he is blind as us in regards to what's happening in the boardroom with contracts and transfers. So this is what Ange Postecoglou had to say. If I can play the clip, I will. If not, then here's me reading it out for you.
Pretty much the same. As I said, Michael's dealing with all that stuff, and you know, again, as we sit right here, no one's leaving, no one's coming. It's pretty much the same. You know, there's always going to be speculation and around the place, but you know, from my perspective, you know, at this moment, there's nothing that's definite that's happening.
So, effectively, Ange Postecoglou has referenced Michael Nicholson and saying that he's dealing with most of these matters. But as far as he's aware, and here is the all-important quote from the press conference this afternoon. The full quote is on screen, but the highlighted part, as I sit here right now, no one is leaving and no one is coming in. That's the main message from the quote today at the press conference. Of course, there's a lot amongst that as well, talking about Michael Nicholson and talking about what the manager knows compared to him. Now, there's a few different ways you can look at this, and if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, then, you know, you can start conjuring up every different possibility that you like. Simply put, I hope that there is 100% trust between the board and manager here, and everything is coherent, everything is transparent, and Michael Nicholson is feeding back the correct information to our manager, which he is then feeding back to us. If so, kind of throws a spanner to everything we've spoke about over the past week in regards to Juranovic maybe leaving to go over to Monza in Italy, Georgios Giakoumakis perhaps going to Japan as well. Now, what we've seen in the past with, you know, the likes of Fabrizio Romano and a lot of journalists is they're used as a tool to drum up interest in their players. You know, they want to try and get a move for them, and if they feed information off to a journalist to say that, okay, this team's came in for him, it's to try and get other teams moving and trying to get a serious or better offer to the ones that have actually been fed to journalists. Now, is that the case with Giakoumakis? Has there been a story fed to Fabrizio Romano, been fed to the mainstream media that Japan was an option for him, and it's actually not? Because the reports yesterday was there was a bid accepted and they were now in negotiations, personal negotiations for the player's contract. Now, I would be stunned if Ange Postecoglou was to come out and just blatantly lie about that. There's no benefit from lying about that. So Ange just came out in the media today and he said, as I sit here, no one is leaving and no one is coming in. that to me suggests that we haven't accepted a bid for Giakoumakis to go to Japan, because surely we would be accepting the fact that he's off. And we'd be expecting him to leave and join one of these sides that are in for him. But apparently no one is leaving and no one is coming in. And then if no one's coming in, that would suggest to me that Ange, who should be heavily involved with replacing Giakoumakis, that would say to me that Ange hasn't got a striker coming in to replace him. So has Ange just rubbished it all today? Is he playing a card of hands to keep things quiet? I don't know. You can speculate all you like, but it is very contradictory to the reports that we heard yesterday from Fabrizio Romano. I'm a huge Georgios Giakoumakis fan, right? And I'm focusing on him mostly here rather than Juranovic. I'm a huge Giakoumakis fan. I know there's a lot of huge Giakoumakis fans out there that don't want to see him leave the club. What I'll also say is, I wouldn't let this press conference convince you that he's 100% staying at Celtic, that he'll be here at the end of the window. The whole point is, as he says right now, as he sits here right now, there's still 2 weeks left of this window. There's still a lot that can change. Maybe Giakoumakis will move on, and if it's been made evident that he does want to leave, then I assume that he probably still will. It's just of this moment of time, he's not going. So I don't know if we've just had the Urawa Red Diamonds reports rubbished, or if he's just going to end up staying altogether. But it is really weird. I wouldn't get your hopes up, as I said. I don't think that this means that he's definitely 100% positively going to stay a Celtic player come February, but it really does kind of throw a curveball as to what we were maybe expecting to happen over the next week. If he's not leaving at this moment in time, then when is he going to leave? At the end of the day, all we can do is wait and see. As I said, we can speculate as much as we like, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But at this point, I have just kind of resigned to the fact of sitting tight and waiting to see what happens now. You know, there's going to be umpteen stories between now and the end of the window thrown to us by the tabloids, saying that they're off to this team or that team. And Ange Postecoglou is going to have to answer at every press conference differently, depending on how much steam is picked up on these. We don't know if it's some people would say a politician's answer or not. We don't know how much truth is in anything that's coming out at the moment. I trust the manager 100%, and I believe that's probably the case right now. But things will change between now and the end of the window, so there's no point in getting your hopes up on either side, really. If he's leaving to bring in money, or if he's staying as a Celtic player, to be honest, we'll just have to wait and see. It's just about, replacing Giakoumakis now. That's my main concern, because the longer this kind of drags on, if he does leave the club, if he stays, then it's okay, it's great, we don't need to worry at all. But what worries me is the longer it drags on, are we prepared to bring in the right replacement? And we're going to talk about a story in a moment, but I have this horrible feeling that I can't shake, that we're not going to replace Giakoumakis. And if we do replace him, I'm scared we don't replace him properly. You know what I'm saying? I just have this horrible, horrible sinking feeling inside me that I can't shake, and I know we will. We've got to. We can't just go the full season with Kyogo as our only option. That's not going to happen. Postecoglou will not let that happen. But I wouldn't be stunned if it did somehow, if the board just let the manager down in that regard. I know the board have been getting a lot of credit for what they've been doing in the past few transfer windows, and since Ange just came in, we've looked a much we've been better ran, basically. But I just can't shake that feeling. So we're going to have to wait and see. Anyway, in regards to no one leaving and no one coming in, we may as well briefly chat about some reports that broke last night in regards to a player who has been linked with coming into Celtic. Obviously, might not be. Kevin Nisbet, he's been linked with Celtic once again, like he was back in 2021. It's a throwback to COVID football, isn't it? At the end of that season when Lenny moved on before Ange came in. I was one of the Celtic fans who really wanted Nisbet to join Celtic, and at that point in time, I think I was just very down bad for the quality that we had seen the year prior. And I would have took anybody. But Nisbet, had a cracking season that year. It was his debut season at Hibs, obviously. Had a really good introduction to the Scottish Premiership. He continued that kind of rise when he signed from Dunfermline. And obviously it's not went to plan for him ever since. He's struggled with injury. He's just back. But he's just back and he's scoring goals. He's been really good. He's scored 7 goals in his 6 games since he's returned as Hibs' main man. He's probably saving Lee Johnson his job at the moment as well. He is obviously a talented footballer. It's just a question, is he the right guy for Celtic? Is he the replacement for Giakoumakis? Should he leave the club? We also don't know how much truth is in it. And we'll probably talk about this far more in depth in another video when more comes out, because I'm really kind of hesitant as to buying in to actually Celtic making a bid for him. Obviously now 25 years old, he's been injured for a long time. I don't know if he has the quality to suggest that he's ready for Celtic just yet. The three letter tabloid that I hate naming has claimed that Celtic are interested again, and reports suggest that a recruitment team are analysing his gameplay data to examine his suitability for Ange Postecoglou. So, to be honest, it's a bit of a nothing article, really. There's nothing there suggesting that Celtic have made a bid, and a lot of people have already fell into the trap thinking that we have made a bid. I reckon that he will be someone that's on Celtic's list. I think that's undeniable. He will be on a list somewhere. How far up or down that list he is, I don't know. You can only speculate. But I don't think Celtic will quite go in fully here and make a sort of bid. But his name has been linked with the club once more. Let me know your opinions. I would rather someone else over Nisbet if the right player is there. I think that Nisbet is someone who I think could easily come to Celtic and be a good third choice striker to have at the moment, but he's no better than Giakoumakis, I don't think. And I don't know, it's a hard one. I think he really needs this kind of last 6 months of the season to show if he's properly back and ready for as big a role as what he would have at Celtic. But we'll have to wait and see. His name has been thrown in the hat again, but take it with a pinch of salt. Right, that does it. It's a late one. This one will be up late tonight. My apologies. It's about 4:10. I usually should be doing this point at 2:10, but here we are. So like and subscribe if you enjoy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.